ROS Developers. Welcome to the ROS Developers live class. So I was saying before we started and that this live class is going to be about how you can generate some money from your ROS knowledge. So that's very interesting, isn't it? And yeah, there was some problem with the sound, as always is our problem, having many issues, but we solved them quickly and we are ready to start. So today, what I'm going to show you is how you can create ROS-based courses for teaching people about ROS subjects, about robotics, anything related with ROS that you would like to teach the world, and also get paid for that. So that's an interesting proposal, isn't it? So stay with me and I'm going to show you how you can do that. Very easy procedure. It requires some work, of course, yes, but that's why we are here, yeah, isn't it? So we want to work and get paid by our work. So let's go and let's start, but before, let me tell hello to the people on the chat. And as always, there is Dirk Capu there, that he was also even about 20 minutes before we started, he was already saying hello there and making us, telling us, hey, we are here waiting, so come on. Okay, Dirk Capu, nice to see you here. By the way, we received the picture of you with the t-shirt of the ROS, I am a ROS developer, very nice picture. So then also we have Adam Krasrik. Okay, Adam, hello. Nice to see you again here on the class. Kashif also, Kashif Nori, hello, also here many times in many classes. Wondong Hu, hello. And Erop with a name in, I think it's Russian, I'm not sure. So what, but anything, anyway, Erop, hello, welcome here. So let me see if there is any problem, because I can see. Okay, so hello everyone. Still there? I don't know. We are still having issues with the program transferring the data. So we'll have to check later what is happening with this. But anyway, I was saying hello to everyone on the chat: Adam, Dirk Capu, Kashif, Wandon, Erop, and many others that are there. So what we are going to do is to see how you can create a course about ROS or about a robotics topic based on ROS, and then how you can create this and submit so we can publish your course into our Robot Ignite Academy, and then you can get paid by this. Okay, so we are going to see the whole procedure here today. I'm going to teach you how you can start creating your amazing courses and submit them to us so we can publish and you get some money because of that. And let me see if there is any problem here. Still some problem. Yes, I don't know. So still some problems here. It's stupid. I don't understand this. Sorry guys, so we are having some problems here with the internet connection. I don't know what to say, so always never finishing solving those problems. But anyway, you are not here to hear my complaints, so let's go straight to the point. And let's start by sharing a document. So what I'm going to share with you today is a document, it's a PDF document that includes all the instructions that you need to know in order to create your own courses, ROS-based courses, and to submit them to us so we can publish and you can get paid. So that's the main subject for today. So let me start by sharing this PDF document with you on the chat. So it's a link with a PDF document, and you are going to copy this and we are going to open together and then see follow the instructions. So there it is, the link. Let me know if you can copy, because it's a long link and maybe the chat is indicating some problems. on that, but if you cannot, I can shorten this. Actually, let me shorten directly right here. So I'm shortening, and I'm going to copy the same link in a shortened form in the chat. Okay, so please, this is then, don't get confused. So both are links to the same document, same PDF document that we are going to follow together. So once you have this document open, let me know, and I will share the screen with you, and we are going to follow the instructions so you can see the procedure. You're going to see that the procedure is quite simple. So it's not a difficult procedure to create a course, but the only thing is the work that you have to do. I mean, it's this creating a course, a ROS course, a robotics course, that's a lot of work. So don't expect to just be there and just write and so something like that, or just speak on the camera. It's not like that. So the courses for the Robot Ignite Academy are based on code, are based on descriptions on the text, are based on exercises. So you will have to create all that in the course. I'm going to teach you how to do that, okay? Let me know if you have any question on the chat. We have on the chat also Christian, who is one of the interns of the construct, and he is the one that has created this document together with me, and we are so helping you understand what is happening. In case that there are some questions, he will also answer directly there on the chat. Okay, so everybody seems to work on this point, so let's go and let's share here my screen. So you should see now my PDF document, which is this document about the class of today. And yeah, so I have already explained everything. So as requirements, we have indicated Linux and basics and ROS basics, just because we have also prepared some exercises, but we are not going to have some time to do those exercises. They are included in the document. You can do it later after the class. So yes, so in this class, so we are going to take as an example the creation of a course, which is a course about how we are going to create a course about how to use laser data with ROS. So how can we use laser data with ROS? Okay, so that's the purpose. And in any ROS course that you are going to create for the Robot Ignite Academy, the main point is the simulation. So everything has to be related to a simulation of a robot. Why is that? Because our courses are not just text that you may read and so on, and then you understand and do whatever. No, they are based on practice. And as you know, practice on online simulations. So that's a very important point. In this case, for the course that we are going to create here today, we are going to use this Robotics robot that we already have the simulation and so on. You are going to see how to integrate the simulation into your course. Very easy procedure. Don't get scared. Okay, so then what do we need to create for the course? So we'll need to create several things. I'm going to provide you a complete list later. But before starting to know what do we have to create, you have to decide what is the subject that you would like to teach. So then there are some subjects that are by the end of this document that you can select for creating a course for the Robot Ignite Academy. Okay, so you cannot select any subject that you would like. So we have a kind of editorial line that we want to cover. And then it is necessary that you create one of those courses. Otherwise, maybe it will be rejected. If you propose a free course, maybe. It's not 100% sure, but it has a lot of chances. So decide the subject. In our case is how to understand laser data from a ROS device. Then you need to create 5 units per each per each course, sorry. So we are going to see in a minute. And you are going to need to decide which simulation you are going to use. In our case, we have decided this simulation. Now, in a minute, you are going to know how to select your simulation. Okay, so let's start. Let's go and let's create one course. Yes? Then for that, you need to go to the ROS Development Studio. It's the tool that you are going to use for creating the course. Don't worry, you don't need to pay anything for that. So it's the free tier. It's good enough for creating the courses. So go to the ROS Development Studio. Let me write down here the address on the chat. So the address is rosds.online. rosds.online. If you go there, you create a free account, or if you have one like me, so I have already one account here, and I am here on the ROS Development Studio, okay, already logged in. So once you're logged in, then you need to go to this option here that we have included in green that says New Course. Yes, click there. And then it says, hey, if you want to continue, this option only makes sense if you are going to create a course for publishing in the Robot Ignite Academy. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So maybe you are confused, you wanted to create a ROS jet. That's something different. So let's go and let's say continue, because we want to create a course. Okay, then you have to select and fill a few fields here. Okay, so this is a template for every course, and all the fields are mandatory. First one, you have to select for which ROS combination you are creating your course. So you have to select any of those. At present, we are only accepting courses that are created at present for ROS Kinetic or for ROS2 Eloquent. Those are the only ones that we are accepting courses at present. So if you want to create one course for ROS 1, for ROS Classic, let's say, then select ROS Kinetic. If you want to create one course for ROS 2, you select ROS 2 Eloquent. So select ROS Kinetic in this case. We are going to use for ROS Classic. Then subject. This is what is the main subject of your course. So it could be about ROS debugging, about artificial intelligence, robot manipulation, perception, navigation. So we are going to include more subjects in the future, in the close future. So for now, we have this distribution. So select in this case ROS Basics, because it's a basic concept. It's about laser scans. Then the title, here you put the title of your course. And remember that it has to be something interesting and appealing and understandable. So by reading the title, I must know what is about this course. For example, in this case, how to understand ROS laser data, or everything about ROS laser data, for example. A tagline. So a tagline is like a sentence. It's a whole sentence that describes your course. In this case, could be, for example, I don't know, what you can put whatever you want there. That is a tagline. This tagline, this information is going to be displayed into the academy in order to attract people to see those courses and take those courses. So a tagline for this one could be, understand all the concepts behind laser scan data for ROS programs. And then an overview. And then in this overview, you have to describe in deeper, like a paragraph, a complete paragraph describing what is this about. So I'm not going to write it here, but this is about this and that, and then you that other thing, and so on, and that. Okay, and then here, next field is learn. In learn, you have to put bullet points about what are you going to learn by taking this course. What is a student going to learn by taking this course? In this case is, what is the structure of a laser scan message, ROS message. Then we are going to say another point. It's about the how to use laser scan data to avoid obstacles. And how to merge, another point, how to merge the several laser or LiDAR data into a single scan, for example, if we have more than one laser on the robot. Okay, then next field, author name, your name, so Rick T, my name. Author description, something, I am so pretty and well, I think it's handsome for men. I am so handsome and clever, yes. So you put your description. Remember that all these data is going to be displayed on the Academy. Then you have to include a picture of you. So select any picture that you have and you would like to have in your I mean, it's going to be displayed on the Academy, so it's going to show your face there. Then we reach the final part, is the simulation to use. Remember that in the document we indicated that we have to decide the simulation that we are going to use. So this simulation that we decide is the one that we are going to make the students use for their practice, for when we tell them. So for example, take a scan from the robot laser number 1 and then print the distance to the closest obstacle and which angle of the laser is detecting this obstacle, for example. Then for that you need to have the simulation running because it's the one that is producing this data. So you have to select here the simulation. So at present we have two options. One is to select the simulation from the ROS Development Studio library of simulations, or select from a public repo. So I'm not going to explain the second one because it's a lot more complex. So I think that for the first time you should go straight from the ROS DS library, because this one requires to get some gits, some package names, large files. It's a lot more complex. So let's go to the easy part, that is select from ROS DS library. So if you select that one, then you have to select which wall of the ROS DS available you are going to use and which robot. So you have to select those two things because they are separate. So you can create many combinations of different walls with different robots. So that's more interesting. That's why we have separated into different ones. So let's say in this class is the Tiago small office. Select the Tiago small office, and the robot, then the Robotics MPO 500. I think it was the MPO 500. Let me check. And MPO 500, yes, that's it. And let me see, where is here we selected in the walls we selected the Tiago small office, correct? Okay, was just checking. Okay, so then once you have selected everything, then you indicate create. So this is going to create a template, a small template for this new course. In invalid PK, okay, 28 object doesn't exist. Okay, so I don't know what is this. So let me select again the image. Let me select here the image. So this one. Let me put one image without strange things. Okay, and then here let me select again the Tiago small office and the Robotics MPO 500. Now I'm going to create, and still saying something strange. So I don't understand this one. Subject, it's correct. Then here is, I don't know, let me see if I can select, for example, Costa Coffee and another robot, Kinova 3 Gen create. Okay, so oh, the image. Okay, so the image, come on. Let me see which image I can use here. So a small image that is not too much big. So this image, for example, so number 1, then Tiago small office, then MPO 500. Okay, so I see. I think it's this name that for some reason has been, yeah, so it didn't exist. So that's why. So we have to select, yeah, so that's a problem. So you have to select the MPO robot. I don't know why there are several MPO options there. So select the MPO option in non-capital letters. Please use that one. So for some reason there is a mistake there. So I will report this to the web developer of the team that has created this. Okay, so now we have created this course. As you can see, is different from other ROSjets that you may have, the template. So we have this course here, and then the only thing that we can do with this course is to either delete it because we don't want it anymore, either submit to the construct for evaluation, or to open. Then you need to open because you have to fill it. You have to fill it. So press open and then select the hardware that you want to open it, just the free one, the basic option, it's okay. And then let's open it and let's see how it works. So the thing that we are going to do now is to follow, while it is opening, is to follow the steps to create the course. How can we fill with the proper information this course so we can send it afterwards? So let's wait for a few seconds until it is open, and then we should get some picture like this. This is a picture that is automatically showing the simulation that you have selected. So it's automatically open and it's ready for you to start testing and doing whatever you need to do, or to test with the simulation in the same sense as the students will inside the academy. And then here is the list, and the notebooks is the list here of the, sorry, I'm trying to maximize, but I think I'm putting, too much maximize. So here is the list of units that we have to populate. So the units are the notebooks that contain the teaching material in terms of text, images, code, then commands for the Linux terminal, etc. So let me see if it is open already. It's almost there. Yes, and then so that's it. So what we are going to see, to see now is how to create the course and which are the parts that we have to create. So first, as I mentioned, we have to create the notebook units. Okay, so are those units here that are empty. We are going to see in a minute, they are empty, they are ready, prepared for you. You just have to fill it. Then the notebook units, for every course you have to create 5 units. And content is mandatory, so you have to provide 5 units. And the units must contain the following. First, on the unit 1, you have to provide an introduction to the course. So this is the one that describes what is your course about, why it is important, and then it has to contain also a practical demo of what the student will have, will know at the end, will achieve at the end of the course. So you have to provide this inside this unit, because this one is the one that the people is going to see for free and is going to understand if this course is for them or is it not. So this is the unit 1. Then the units 2, 3, and 4, sorry, this should be a 4. Unit 2, 3, and 4, they have to be units where you include the content that you want to teach. In this case, it's about the laser, so we put 3 points on the content that you are going to learn. So the first unit is going to be about what is the laser message and how does it work, how we can retrieve from a topic, how can we publish, how can we get the ranges, the intensity, how can we compute the different angles, etc. So all this in the Unit 2, then underneath Unit 3 we are going to see how to use that information to avoid obstacles, so how it is indicating that there is an obstacle in which direction related to the robot. And then in Unit 4 we are going to see how to merge several laser data into a single laser data, for example. And then finally you have to create another project unit. This is a project unit, it's a unit that you had to create that actually proposes a problem. It's a challenge to the student. So the student has to solve this challenge with the robot, with the simulation, by using what you have taught during the previous 3 units. So this project unit, it is including everything that you have already taught here. And they have practice already also in those units. You're going to see in a minute, is going to be based on practice. It's not going to be based on just talking and writings and so on. So the students have to practice a lot during this, but in a separated sense. In this case, we are using everything learned in the previous units to make the robot solve a task. Okay, so that's the content of the project unit. Then this thing, the notebook units are mandatory. So this is mandatory. You have to provide that in your course. Then sometimes in order to create your units, you need to support that with some code. With some code, extra code that is you have to provide, because otherwise the students will not understand the content of this. That happens sometimes. And the code could be in C++, ROS, Python, whatever it is. And then this code, it's optional. It's optional. It can also be some web page that you would like the student to open. So code that interacts with the robot, with ROS. So that's also included here, but all that is optional, just in case that you need it in order to make the student understand the units or make the project work. So in case that here you have the different directories inside the project that you can put the code that you are going to use. Also, you can provide data sets. So in case that you require that your code works on data sets, for example, you are doing a reinforcement learning, a deep learning training for whatever subject, for images classification, then you need to provide a data set to the student, so he doesn't have to create it, because it's very difficult. I mean, it's data set from vehicles running in the rain or something like that, I don't know. Then you provide already here, so they can use it during the course. And this is also optional. This is only in case that you need it. Then finally, you have to provide the functional tests. The functional tests are the tests that are checking that all the code that you are launching here, or you are asking the students to launch or to execute here, it is working. So you need to provide those functional tests, so in order for us, for the construct, to check automatically that what you are asking the user to do in those units, it is possible and it is working. Because as you may understand, we are doing many changes in our systems, and in order to upgrade, and then if we don't have those functional tests, then we can break your units at some point in time. So for all the courses that we create, we are creating also functional tests. Otherwise, it will be impossible to maintain. So we'll have a lot of errors all the time. Those tests are mandatory. Those tests are mandatory. So this is necessary to provide. So that's the work that you have to create. Okay, so now let's go more or less step by step how to create. It's just an overview. You can check this information later and do yourself. So do it step by step by yourself. So first is about creating the units. As I mentioned, when you open your course, the one that you have created, mine is already open, so you will get a screen like this. And you can see that the ROS has put itself into course creator mode. So now it's a different mode than when we launch ROS. So in this case, you have the simulation already open here. The one that we have selected is this one of the MPO 500 and those areas here. Whenever you see that this is looking like white all the time, and this usually means that it was delayed the load of this screen, and then you can press this icon here in order to reload again, and then you are going to see full colors appear. Yeah, so those are some things that we need to improve in the ROS. Definitely we have to, and we are going to. At the moment, that's the current situation. It doesn't prevent, it's just visually more attractive. It's just for that, and also more understandable for the brain. So you have the simulation here fully running. You can see that there are the topics of the robot. You can move it. You can do whatever you want with there. And then here we have the Jupyter notebook that has automatically opened and contains this notebook. This notebook is intended to provide you some guidance in the creation of your course. In the same way as you have this document. So for the people who doesn't have this document because they are not here on this live class, shame on them. Yes? No, just joking, just joking. Then they will have this document that explains more or less how to create a course. It's a simplification of the document that you are getting today. So, but basically what is interesting are the shortcuts to the units. So remember, you have to prepare those units, and then it's as simple as pressing in one of those here. And yeah, so you have this notebook here and start writing. So you know how to use this system, the Jupyter notebook. If you don't, then you need to go and check the documentation about Jupyter notebook. But then you can start here. So let's say chapter 1, it's the laser scan message. No. So then you start typing blah 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 like this. Okay, so we need to change the format. This is format for text. You remember that you have format for code. So you can, for example, here import I don't know, ROS.py, or you can also do commands for Linux. So type ROS launch, turtlebot, I don't know, sim main.launch, for example. I don't know, you type here and then you put the instructions, you add images and so on. So actually you can add whatever. You can even include videos in the units, etc. Then we have organized this in this way in order to simplify to you, so it's easy for you to create the units. So you have here, this is the main notebook that the course is opening and has a link to all the units. So you can quickly go from here to all the other units that are going to be open in a different tab, as you can see here. And also in case that you get lost and then you don't know where you are, you can always come here back to the main notebook at any point in time and then get it again, this structure. So in case that you close this window, for example, and then you have it here. So your work is to go unit by unit and fill it. So this is also unit 2, it's not fill it, unit 3, and so on, so on, so on. So unit 4, etc., etc., and the project. That's it. So you have to fill this. So how do you fill? Let me show you just a few ideas. So let me see. This is an example how to use unit 1, how to use laser scan data with ROS. This is the course that we are going to create, that we are creating actually. So then start by explaining why, then Y is a laser for, then what we recommend is that you go straight as soon as possible to making the student to practice something so they can understand what they are doing. And then also it's very clarifying to include images. Images, they allow the guys to understand what is happening, what do you mean, and also especially GIFs. So this is a PDF, you cannot see the GIF, but I'm going to provide you later the actual notebook. This notebook, I'm going to provide that to you. We are going to open it and you will see that this is a GIF. It's a moving GIF. So you can see here the robot moving and the laser scans. You can also add this into the notebooks. It's very clarifying for the students. And then some commands and so on. So that's an example of a notebook of Unit 1. It's very simple one, okay? So this is very, very simple and very, very short. This is not what we are expecting for our courses. This is just an example. So you have to provide an introduction here so that people get interested on that. But you get the idea, okay? You get some introduction, images, GIFs, commands that provide some result to the user, etc., etc. Okay, then what else? About the simulation, yes, already explained to you. Then in case that you need to create some code, and yeah, before we go to the code part, let me share with you the ROS jet that has this content, so we can upload it to our course, to this course that we are creating, and then actually we can make like we have created the course. So it is going to show like we have created the course. So what I'm going to do is to share the link for that zip file that contains, and then I'm going to tell you the instructions. Let me come here to bit.ly because it's bit.ly, because it's also a long code. So I'm going to copy and then going to put it back into the chat, the link. So if you can open that, so you click on that link, you are going to get the code. Actually, you're going to get all the code that we have prepared for this presentation, that contains a couple of notebooks, and actually 3 notebooks examples for Unit 1, Unit 2, and Project. Very, very, very simple ones, okay? So it's not the quality that we are expecting to you. It's just an idea. It's just to give you an idea for how do we mean. And then, so we are going to upload them here to our notebook, our course. And how do we do that? By using tools. If you go to tools and use the IDE, select the IDE. Now the IDE is going to open, and we'll see in a minute. Some coffee for me. Yes, and here it is. So we have the typical structure of workspaces of any ROS jet that you already know from the ROS DS. Then the notebooks, they have to be uploaded here. They have to be uploaded here on the notebooks workspace. So as you can see, you already have those notebooks already there. Those are the ones that I've shown you. So they are actually empty. Those are the empty, the project, all the 4 units, the project, and the instructions. That is the one that I have shown with you. It's this one that contains the instructions, the basic instructions. So what we can do is, for example, is to upload the ones that you have in the file that I have shared with you. So uncompress that file, and then you will see that there are some, if you go inside, some Python notebooks. So you can copy all of them, select all of them, the 3 of them. There is Unit 1, Unit 2, and Project. Select them, and then first on the ROS DS, select the notebook here workspace directory and leave it open. First, do that. Okay, so otherwise there will be could be a problem. So select this, and then after that, go to your file manager, in your computer, select the 3 files of the notebooks that I have provided to you, and then drag and drop here. So I'm dropping them here, and by dropping them, what happened is that they have the same names as the files that I already had here, so they have been overwritten. So now my unit 1 is like this, but if I refresh, it should show the other content. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's the content that I have uploaded. And for unit 4 there is none, for unit 3 neither. For unit 2, if I do a refresh, it should show the same something, yes. And then for the project, the same thing. So you can see the project. If you don't know how to open those, don't worry, go to the instructions. So let's go, let me close everything here. So just go to the basics again. Whenever something wrong, go to the basics. You can close everything, then go to the ROS Development Studio, Tools, select the Jupyter Notebook, and here it's going to load the notebook. And now you are here, you can open the unit. So unit 1, and so on. Then what happens here? We are missing the images. Yeah, because we didn't upload them. So in case that you want to upload the images, it's very easy. Select the IDE. Here on the images directory, go to the images directory of the file that I have shared with you, and copy all of them. Copy all the files, all the directories from there, and drag and drop inside this images directory in the ROS Development Studio. And that's it. So they have been uploaded in my case. So now if I go to the unit 1, I refresh, then they will show the images. That's it. And then here you can see what I mentioned before, that this notebook is actually a GIF. You can see how the laser images are rotating because the robot is moving around. Okay, and then here also the robot is moving in this GIF. So you can, this is very attractive for the students and makes them understand what actually you mean. Okay, so I hope that you have followed those instructions and more or less understood. So let me go back, we can close here. So this is an example of notebooks and project. You can check them later. Also, what else? About the simulation, already explained how to, so you don't have to do anything with the simulation because it's already running there for you. In case that you close it or something strange happens that it closes, then it's very simple. The same, let me show you. The same thing as you did on the selection of the ROS yet, you can do it here on the simulation menu. So you go again to simulation, then here on the wall, you select the wall of the Tiago small office, and then choose the robot, 500, let me show you, it's MPO 500, is this one, and then start simulation, and that's it. So it will start again. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, so that's for the simulation. Okay, so it's starting. It's going to appear in a few seconds here. You got it here. It's starting. Great. So what else? So if you want to include some code for the user, then if you want to include some code because it's necessary, otherwise it will be too complex to explain into 3 chapters, only 3 units, all the topics that you want to explain, then maybe you need to provide some code already done to the student. Then you have to include that inside the Catkin workspace / source directory. That it's here on the let me close the notebook workspace. Then here you have the Catkin workspace, then source. Then here you should create, as it's mentioned in here, another directory. This is a directory. Okay, that is, and so this is a directory, and then inside there you are going to create packages for your different units, and then so you have to create this directory with the name of your course with underscores, and then create a package for the unit 1 with the dependencies. So you, in this case, is ROS.py only, but you can put any other. So this is an example of code that you can put there. Not necessary that we do it right now. You can check this later at home. In case that you would like to see the whole code of this in another way, in a better way, so remember that I have provided also you this notebook in the zip file, so you can check this zip file and you will see those instructions also in a better format. So you include any code. It could contain Python code, it can contain Launch code, whatever. The important thing is that you organize in this way. So you indicate first the directory of your, with the name of your course, and then inside that directory you include the packages per each unit. And then there you can create any code that you would like to have there. Okay. Okay, then I have already explained to you the content of the units 2, 3, and 4. Then, yeah, so these are some advices. Don't abuse about the theory. Yeah, because the guys, they want to see the results. They want to go as fast as possible to results, to prove, to test. So don't go too much with theory explaining. If you need to explain a lot of theory, then you have to divide this into small chunks, and after each chunk you have to provide a small test, a small check into the simulation, so the user can do something with the robot that is checking what you just have explained before. So use images. Images are very, very important. You can include captures of what you are expecting the user to have when they execute the command. So, hey, launch this command and then you should get something like this. So that's an example. So if you launch a ROS topic list, you should see this list and so on. If you launch a ROS topic info seek from the scan, you are going to get this information, etc., etc. So use those tools for creating knowledge in the student to make them understand what is happening. Then for the project, as I mentioned, it has to include everything. So you have a very, very, very simple example here about the project that we have uploaded. Very, very simple. So it indicates the time to completion, what you will learn, and then you start explaining everything. Remember that you have to provide also the solution to this. So this is very, very, very simple. Usually you need to explain a lot better what you are expecting from the user to achieve. So this is just an example, very simple example. Then what else? So that's for the project. And yeah, so the project has to involve a challenge. So it has to make the student really understand why he has studied the previous unit and for what it's useful. So it's exactly in this project that the usefulness of what he has been learning is demonstrated because he's put it into practice. Then finally, well, not finally, but almost finally, you have to create a functionality test, as I mentioned. The functionality tests are the tests that are checking that everything in your course is not broken. So if you indicate in your course, for example, here above, let me show you. You have indicated, hey, you have to launch this ROS topic info, and then you should see something like this. Then your unit test has to check that this ROS topic info command is not going to fail. So actually that the seek from scan topic does exist, because we can break this by doing changes in the academy structure. We can break it. So maybe we will modify the simulation and this topic will no longer recall like this. So then your explanation makes no sense. So you have to include a test for each one of those commands that you are asking the guy to launch and to get a certain result. So here you have a complete tutorial about how to create tests, and we have included a complete test also. Okay, so this is not the test itself. This is something that is mandatory to include. This is something mandatory. But here we have a test. This is the code of a test that is checking for existing topics. And we here in these instructions, you can see step by step what each function is about and how you should modify the functions for your own tests. So have a look at this. It's a little bit deep, and I mean it requires to understand Python and also ROS. So it's going to be a little bit tough to follow, but here you can understand how to create your own tests. So have a look and let us know if you have questions. So here step by step, then we indicate how to run a test. So once you have included your test, then you have to check if your test is actually doing its job. Then for that, then you are going to learn how to create a unit test for testing a script, and how to launch it, and what is the expected result, how to modify to detect that there is an error, or that to detect that everything is working properly. So have a look at this and how to create unit tests. As you can see, is the longest section of the whole tutorial because it's a difficult task, and this is mandatory. We are not going to accept any course without the tests, because otherwise it will not work. We will break it very, very fast. So then study that section and let us know if you have questions. So once you have created everything, then there is the simulation involved, the units, the code, and the unit test. Then you can save the course. In order to save the course, you have to do nothing actually, because everything is automatically saved. Just in case that you would like to be 100% sure, come here to the notebooks and press the save icon, and then here press the save icon again. This is being done automatically every few minutes, so it's very unlikely that you're going to lose anything. Then save. Okay, I'm going to cancel because I don't want to start the process. So once you are done, then you have to submit for revision. So you have to submit your course to us. And how do you do that? It's very, very simple. So you are here, your project is saved, is done. Then go back to the list of projects that you have. In this case, is this icon here, or you can go in another way. But if you are working at present with the ROS Development Studio, then you go to your list of projects. Is this one, remember, from the start of this live class. And then you can see here your course, everything about ROS laser data. Then you press the button submit when you are happy, and then it says confirm. So do you want to have this? Yes, then submit, and you will get this message. You have already submitted. Then in our team, we are receiving an email with all the information related to that and a copy of your course, and we are going to evaluate and get in contact with you in a few days to let you know what is the status, if it is okay, where do you have to modify, this is not correct, something like that, with a feedback. So you know, or maybe it's okay, it's very good, then it's going to be published on this day. Then once that it has accepted, then we will tell you, okay, that's okay, your course is very good. Then what else? So you will have to transfer your rights to us so we can use it. So you are indicating, hey, yes, so I accept to transfer the rights to the construct in order to publish in the Robot Ignite Academy. And because of that, so you will receive the payment that at present we are paying 1,500 euros per course. So if you create a very good course, then you can get paid about this amount per each course. So you actually can create courses and dedicate your life to create courses and get paid by this, a decent amount of money per course. For that, we'll need your bank account and personal details, and as well as the information for sending an invoice and a payment. So everything is going to be legal under the legality of the different countries. And then also you will appear as the author of the course in the academy. So if you go to the Robot Ignite Academy, you will see that is our online academy. So let me get inside the academy. So you will see that all the courses, when you go to details, for example, this one, you can see here who is the teacher. In this case, it's Alberto, who is a member of the ROS the construct. And then you get here the picture that he submitted, you see, and then his description. So this is what is going to appear for your case. So you are going to be the author. It's not us that we are going to take the ownership of the creation of the course. We get the rights to use it. Okay, then we will take charge of maintaining the course. So you will not have to modify the course as the different ROS version changes or the simulation changes or whatever. So we'll take charge of that. And we may translate it to other languages. As you know, the Robot Ignite Academy supports different languages. At present is English, Japanese, and Chinese. So maybe we are going to translate it, but it's not your business. So you don't have to worry about that your work is done. Then additional information. We are about to finish, okay? Stay with me a couple of minutes more and we are finished. So about your question maybe, what about which subject can I create a course? Can I create a course about anything? Then no. You have to check the list of subjects that we have here beneath and we are going to review in a few seconds. Then the programming of the course can be done using Python or C++. So please avoid any other language at present. Then also about programming language, about speaking language, so the written language, So it has to be in English. We are not going to accept any other language. At present, only English. And do not worry about your English if you have some mistakes or in grammar or in English. So it doesn't have to be horrible. So it has to be perfectly understandable. But we understand that you are not native, neither we are. So that's why we have an English proofreader that she is going to do the proofread of your course before we publish it. Then also would like to tell you that we have a list here of courses, of subjects, but we cannot have 10 courses talking about the ROS navigation stack. So we are only accepting one course per each subject. So maybe it's going to happen that some other person is going to submit a course with the same subject than yours. So in that case, in case that we receive two courses about the same subject, then we will select the one with the higher quality according to our own criteria. So we'll let you know, okay? We'll let you know in any case. So then courses can be about ROS or any other robotics subject, but all of them must contain practices and exercises with ROS robots that make the people understand the concepts. So it's not only about courses about ROS, it could be also about robotics, as you are going to see in a minute. But it has to be related to ROS for the practices. So for example, you can teach about SLAM, how the Kalman filter does work, and then the Bayesian system, how does it work, how we apply this in order to localize and make the robot create the map at the same time. And then this the theoretical level with the equations and so on. But at some point you have to provide a implementation of those equations into ROS so the student can really understand that those equations are not just equations, but things that you are using in a robot. And the robots are ROS based. So at the end, it has to be an implementation related to ROS. Then final restriction is that you cannot use the course material in other courses or your trainings or any other website. So you are transferring the rights to us in order to exploit those courses. If if you are providing this to many places, then it doesn't make any sense, because I mean we are not providing anything of value from other people, so that makes no sense that we are paying for the courses. I hope that you can understand that point. It's very important. That's why we are going to sign a transfer of the rights document when you get paid. So here a list of courses. I have sketched here just a few. We are going to add more in the closed feature. So those are subjects that we are expecting to create courses in the closed feature. So for example, about ROS, how to create the hardware interfaces in order to be used with ROS control, how to do simulations with Gazebo. We don't have a specific course with Gazebo, how to create the simulation from zero for your robot, with the wall, with the wheels, with the sensors, etc. How to create Gazebo plugins. This is also a very interesting subject. How to debug programs of ROS and how to find errors very quickly. How to use the ROS build farm, so we can become a real ROS developer that is contributing also to the community. So those are the subjects that we would like to have about ROS. About ROS 2, how to do ROS 2 navigation, ROS 2 Move It, that they have just released a Move It version for ROS 2 a few days ago, and how to convert ROS 1 programs into ROS 2. About robotics, how to calibrate a robot, how to do robotic navigation basic algorithms like SLAM, any Kalman filter based or so on, robotics, kinematics, visual servoing, and so on. So basically that's everything that I wanted to show you for about how to create ROS courses for the Robotic Night Academy. You get the whole information. So what is expected for a ROS course in order to be included inside the Robotic Night Academy, and which are the conditions that we are going to accept those courses, and how much you are going to get paid. So I'm here eager for your questions in case that something is not clear, you would like to have clarified before starting to rush to create courses. So let me know on the chat if you have any question related to that. In the meantime, coffee. Then their compute says, what about other subject? What do you mean about other subject? Sorry, I don't know. About other subject, I don't understand what you mean. Can you please clarify, their compute? Subjects. What about other subjects? Can we propose other subjects? Yes. Okay, that's very, yeah, okay, good. RZ is clarifying. Can we propose other subjects? Yes, but propose to us before submitting, so before start creating, because maybe your subject is very interesting for you, but you have to understand that we are a company and we need to have coffee, especially me. I need a lot of coffee, so I need to pay my coffee, and all the other members of my team also, they need to pay their rent and everything, so we need to win some money. For that purpose, we need to create courses that people is interested on. So if you have any other idea that could be very interesting, let us know. We can tell you if this subject is so interesting for the people or not, because we are in contact with the people. We know what is the feeling about that, so we can tell you. Send us an email before starting anything and tell us, I would like to do a course about this. Then you tell us, and then we say, oh yeah, that's okay, sorry, not. Or maybe, yeah, but if you include this and this, or if you don't include this and that. Then we have another question. Then who says, great Ricardo, how about videos that explain each unit? Should we provide videos? No, not at present. Not at present required. At present, we are concentrating on those practical courses, because this is the main subject of our academy, and that's the main difference between our academy and any other academy online there, that they are teaching ROS. They are just putting videos, and then the practice, where is the practice? So you need to have the practice. So our courses are practice based. So I would recommend you that you take one of our courses, and then you will see what do we mean by that. And you will see, so that's the experience for the student is moving so fast for them to understand the same concepts, because you can follow step by step and see the results in real time, and without having to worry about your computer installation or something. And that's what we want to transfer to the students, and that's why we are requesting from you to help us create. Then Mechatronica Maxima, hello, nice to see you here again, Mechatronica Maxima. Can you make a tutorial about code unit testing? Yes, but we already have one in our academy. We need to go further, so we will need to know what do you want to include into that there, so we don't overlap the content. So let us know, I want to include about this and that and that, I'm going to structure like this, let us know, and then we want you to succeed in creating courses, because your success is our success also. So we are going to support you in the creation of those courses. Then their compute says all the subjects that are not in that list. Yeah, okay, answer that question, their compute. Thomas, their compute is his alias of Thomas. Okay, Shyam Ganatra says, unit testing courses is already there, unit testing with ROS. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. And okay, for Mechatronica Maxima, any other question, guys? Let me know. Otherwise, I will keep drinking coffee, even if it's already very, very cold. I think that I need, you know, those Macs that are thermal, so that they maintain the heat. Is like, yeah, I don't know how to say in English. So I need to have one, but the problem is this one, it's about ROS 2, you see, it's a logo of ROS 2, I love it. Then that's it, so maybe I will have to create a thermal mug, or buy one and then stamp the logo of ROS or the construct also, something like that. I don't see any more questions, so guys, we are going to stop here. And then let me know if you have more questions. Let us know. You can put questions on beneath this video, because now when we finish, it's going to be published in YouTube. So if you are watching now later in YouTube, put your questions there, and we are going to provide maximum speed for answering those questions to this video. And that's all. Then Arif Rahman. Yeah, hello Arif. So glad that you are here, Arif. He is very late now for him. I think it's maybe 2 a.m. and he's attending. He was collaborating with the construct in the past, and now he would like to also collaborate creating courses. I'm so glad that you are here, Arif. The structure will definitely help with creating the courses. Yes, very good. Arif has started to create courses for us, but it was a lot more complicated than the situation that we have presented here. That's why we decided to simplify. So now, Arif, I think that you are going to be on your track very fast. Then Kashif says, how big course do you expect? So it's only 5 units courses, 5 units. So you have to synthesize in your mind the concept that you would like to teach into 5 units. Remember that the first one is just a kind of demo of the whole thing that you are going to teach. So in that one, you cannot really explain anything, just going to explain why it's interesting, how it's going to work, what is going to be the result by the end, and so on. So that's a unit 1. Then you have that's unit 1. Then unit 5 is the project. It's where you make the student integrate all this knowledge into a single project. So you have left 3 units to explain your concepts. So there are many courses at the Academy at present that have many chapters, maybe 10, 12 chapters. That's a lot, but that were created by us at the beginning. So now we have found this structure a lot more understandable for people, even for the students, because they expect just a single subject. They go there, they take the information and they understand this subject, this specific subject. So instead of explaining everything about ROS, so maybe you can explain, for example, let's say, let me give you an example. Instead of explaining everything about navigation, maybe you can explain, you can create a course that is about all the mappers the programs in ROS that exist that allow you to create maps. So maybe you can you explain how to use Gmapping in detail. So one chapter is Gmapping in detail, another one is Cartographer in detail, another one is Carto in detail, another one, I don't remember, many other, or your own algorithm, how to build your own algorithm. So you have three chapters that are in deep about those specific subjects, and then the whole course, it's about how to do mapping with ROS in detail. So you will master all that. So that's just an example. Then says, RZ, thanks, Arif, haha, your time for bed. Yeah, okay. Your time for bed and my time is still for working, because as you know, next week we are going to deliver our live course here in Barcelona. We are going to teach about how to make a robot, a mobile manipulator, how to program mobile manipulators by using ROS, using everything ROS from navigation, so making the robot navigate in an environment, reach the place, detect the object, then grasp with a robotic arm, and then come back to the place and put it there, how to create a web application to control all that and show on a web interface, how to manage the behavior. So we are going to teach how to do all this in ROS next week. And we are doing the final steps. As you know, as the class approaches, then many things start to appear. Okay, we have to deal this and that. So still a lot of work today to finish. Then Kashif Nori has a question. So idea is take a concept, get a small project on that concept. More or less you got it. So you decide a concept that you would like to teach. Like for example, as I mentioned, how to do mapping with ROS, how to let me see. So how to do grasping with ROS, for example. And then you identify which are the algorithms or the parts. In the grasping, that will be how to do the perception, how to use the configuration of move it, how to make the grasping. So one thing is to move the arm, another thing is to do the actual grasp. So there, you see, you have to explain all those concepts. Then decide which one is the best structure for all those concepts to be divided into 3 units. And then by the end, create another unit that is a project that makes the student apply this to everything that he has learned on those units into a single project. So for example, for grasping, if you have taught how to identify the mark and this table, and then approach from here and do the grasp like this, maybe on the project you are going to explain, you are going to ask to detect, instead of a mark, then a bottle, and then approach, instead of grasping like this, then grasping like that. So something that is a challenge a little bit for the guy, but he has to apply what he has learned on the units. Yes, makes sense? Guys, I have to leave, so it's already very late. So it's been a pleasure always to be with you, but now there is no more time. So I hope that you learned a lot. You are excited to create courses and start winning money with ROS. That's not easy. Not everybody can say I'm winning money because of ROS. So you have to be proud of that. And then, so yes, see you. It's not going to be next week, because next week we are doing this master of robotics, we call mastering ROS. And then we are going to be very dedicated to that. So next week we are not going to have any live class, but expect another one on the other week. And now I don't remember what is the subject. Check our webpage. So I will have to check it. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. See you around, and keep pushing your ROS learning. Always keep pushing.